Thank you, Premier, and good morning, everybody. To 8 p.m. Last night, there were 1,284 locally acquired cases of COVID-19 in New South Wales and 2 overseas acquired cases. We continue to see really good testing numbers. Yesterday till 8 p.m. we had 155,334 tests reported. As the Premier said, we are really thrilled to see our vaccination rates continue to climb, and a big thank you to all the community for coming forward in the numbers that you have to get vaccinated, and particularly to residents in our 12 LGAs of concern who have really increased their coverage of vaccination remarkably in the last few weeks, and that's from a health perspective been really wonderful to see. So a big thank you to the community. And I'd like to encourage anyone who hasn't booked in for their vaccine yet or for their second dose to please do so as soon as you can. Currently, New South Wales Health is caring for over 15,000 people with COVID-19, and the vast majority of those people are being cared for in the community and in our special health accommodation. There are currently 1,245 COVID-19 cases admitted to hospital, 228 people in intensive care, and 112 people who are currently requiring ventilation. Of the 228 people in ICU, 172 are not vaccinated, 50 have received a first dose of a COVID-19 vaccine, and 6 people in ICU have received 2 doses of a COVID-19 vaccine. As the Premier said, today we're very sad to announce the deaths of 12 people, people who've lost their lives to COVID-19 and notified to us since 8 p.m. last night. They are 6 men and 6 women. Among these people are 2 who were in their 20s, 3 people who were in their 50s, 1 person was in their 60s, 2 people were in their 70s, 3 people in their 80s, and 1 person in their 90s. Of these 12 individuals who sadly passed away, 7 were not vaccinated, 2 had received 1 dose, and 3 were fully vaccinated. I'd like to provide a bit more detail about several of these tragic deaths. Firstly, a woman in her 20s from Western Sydney died at Nepean Hospital. She had received 1 dose of a COVID vaccine and had underlying health conditions. A woman in her 20s died at Gosford Hospital. She was not vaccinated and was a resident of the Life Without Barriers group home in Wyong, which is where she acquired her infection. 3 people passed away who were residents of aged care facilities in DUBBO. They include a woman in her 80s who died at the Holy Spirit Aged Care Facility. She was fully vaccinated and is the first death linked to an outbreak at this facility. A woman in her 90s was fully vaccinated, and a man in his 80s, partially vaccinated, died at St Mary's Villa Aged Care Facility in DUBBO. And there are now 3 deaths associated with an outbreak at this facility. 2 people from Western Sydney, a man in his 50s and a woman in her 80s, died at their homes, and their COVID-19 infections were diagnosed after their death. And neither of these individuals was vaccinated. I'd like to extend my deepest sympathies to the families of these individuals. Since the 16th of June, we've had 222 COVID-19 related deaths and 278 in total since the beginning of the pandemic. I'd like to call out some areas where we've had positive sewage detections, and particularly ask residents of these areas to come forward for testing and to be vigilant for symptoms. And they are Uralla, Inverell, the Hunter Kuruah areas in the Hunter New England region, Coffs Harbour, Cowra, Narooma, and also young. And I would say that we have also identified a positive case living in Young, reported till 8 p.m. last night, and overnight that person's household contacts have also tested positive. So there are a number of exposure sites in Young, and as we speak, New South Wales Health is providing advice to government around recommendations for the people of Young. But I would like to urge anyone living in Young to please monitor for symptoms, please look out for public health advice and come forward for testing if you have even the mildest of symptoms. I'd like to ask the residents of the following suburbs where we continue to see a high burden of cases, again, as you have been doing all along, to continue to follow the public health advice, get tested, get vaccinated, and those are residents of Greenacre, Guildford, Auburn, Bankstown, Merrylands, Blacktown and Liverpool. Please come forward to get tested. Please especially come forward to get vaccinated. And similarly, I'd like to ask residents of the Central Coast and Illawarra, where we are seeing increasing case numbers, to please be vigilant for symptoms, please get vaccinated, please get tested. Thank you.